Hello and welcome to Where's Wilmington. I'm Lisa Kapala, and we're here to talk today about giving back to your community. The first half of the program, we're going to be talking with Bruce Morison here. He's from Mission of Deeds. And the second half of the program, we're going to be talking to me, about me, if you can imagine that. Well, so stay tuned. We've got a lot of good things to show you. Bruce, thank you for coming in.
Well, pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me and inviting Mission of Deeds.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about what Mission of Deeds does or is.
Okay. Well, we're a volunteer charity based in Reading, very active in Wilmington. And what our basic purpose is, we help people get started again after homelessness. It might have been domestic violence, homelessness for any reason. There are other situations where somebody's come down on their luck and they've lost their home or need household goods. And we provide them these things at no charge.
Wow.
Beds, furniture, linens, kitchenware, all done by volunteers out of donations from the community and given at no cost to people in need.
Excellent. How is what you do different from what maybe a Salvation Army does, or is it really the same?
Well, I suppose there are some similarities, but I'm not completely familiar with what every organization does. But our model is that we receive things and we give them out to people at no cost.
Okay.
It's all,
obviously, there's a fee for the Salvation Army goods. Usually, people go there
as I understand
them.
it, there is.
Right.
But all of our service is given free of charge. The only proviso for service is that each person we help, each family we help, has to have been referred by some sort of bona fide social service organization or a religious organization, some sort of helping organization that knows the people's situation, knows there's a genuine bona fide need that they're not able to fulfill on their own.
Right.
That's the requirement for service.
Okay. Now, as the executive director there, what does an average day look like for you?
Well, that's a great question. In fact, sometime I'd love to get your cameras there to follow us down on an average day. It's quite an eye-opener.
I bet you don't have average days.
That's a good point.
Seriously.
We really don't. Every day has its own personality, but if we can try to envision a typical day, I'll get there in the morning, our truck will go out on the road, staffed by volunteers, and they're going out to the surrounding towns, including Wilmington, to pick up furniture and household goods by appointment from private donors who are giving these things to us. Then shortly after the truck leaves, we have clients coming in and volunteers to service them. Most of our clients we service at our facility. Social service agencies help them to get transportation to pick the things up from us.
Right.
We also occasionally deliver when we have groups that would like to do that over weekends, Saturday mornings particularly. But during the week, the clients' appointments start around 9:30. We'll service anywhere from 3 to 5 families in the course of the day. We start off by interviewing them about the things that they need. The social worker's already submitted some of that information,
right,
but we supplement it. Then we help them pick the things out, we help them load the truck, and off they go. And we'll do that several times in the course of the day. And we service anywhere from 15 to as many as 20, 25 families in the course of a week, of a really busy week.
Wow.
So each day will include a proportionate number of those.
Doing what you do must cause you to have an extreme sense of gratitude.
Oh, it's a great experience.
About your own life and how obviously you don't want to be in some of these situations that have happened to people.
That's right.
How do you find doing what you do has really changed your life?
Well, it is a great feeling, as you mentioned, and it's a great thing to see people getting helped. And it's also a nice thing, you hear a lot about just general statements, well, nobody cares. We see just the opposite. We see everybody who cares. The people who donate to us, the volunteers who give time, people who give financial support. We see all that caring. We also see people in horrible situations that we help, but we see the caring side too. So
right,
it gives you a lot of confidence in what's going on in the world.
That's so good.
Really.
It's so important. And also, I would think too, the whole concept of seeing people rise up from adversity.
And that's what we like to see.
Because you must have some stories where something looked really bad, you folks helped, and then I'm sure you hear back from your clients maybe years later that they actually did pretty well.
Well, I'll
things?
tell you one story where that happened. We helped a reasonably young man who was getting his first apartment after a mental health situation. He had been, I believe, in a group home. So we gave him a setup for his first apartment, which is the bed, the love seat, the bureau, the pots and pans, the linens,
right,
lamps,
basic
etc.
needs that
basic
you would
needs,
need.
Basic needs, pictures for the wall, and so on. And his agency had been there with a van, and off he went, and off the things went, and he thanked us. Well, 2-3 years later, I'm coming out of the bank in Reading Center, and someone stops me, and I think he looks slightly familiar, but I'm not sure where have I seen him.
Right.
And he says, "Oh, you're from the Mission of Deeds." And I'm thinking, okay, well, a lot of people recognize us, so who is this? And he said, "You helped me 2 or 3 years ago." He's dressed in a suit and a tie.
Wow.
And he said, "I just want to come down and thank you, and I want to make a small financial donation. I'm back on my feet, and I just want to say thanks for what you did for me." I thought, wow,
amazing.
That's exactly what we want to happen, because as much as we'll help anybody, the purpose of Mission of Deeds is to give emergency support when people are in transition. We're hoping people don't expect to have a long-term dependency. We're trying to give people a boost to get going on their own.
Right.
So when we see a situation like that, we feel it really succeeded. It makes us real happy.
You're talking about the old adage of teach a man to fish versus give a man
That's
to fish.
what we're hoping.
Not a handout, a hand up.
That's what we're hoping
say.
to do, exactly.
Okay. Now I know you have a pretty extensive website. I've been to that website.
Oh, great.
Can we talk a little bit about how we get to the website and what we'll see there when we go there?
Okay, well, it's www.missionofdeeds with an S at the end.org.
Right. And we will put that on the
up
screen.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes. And what you'll see there is you'll see information about making donations. You'll see the sorts of furniture and household goods we take, and a little bit about what we don't take.
Right.
Which
is important. I really looked over that list of what you don't
Great.
need pretty well, because I think there can be a tendency on the part of the giver, let me just give you everything I have.
Right.
Which is really nice, but there are certain things that you don't have a need for.
Certain
Obviously,
things
perishable
we find
items and things
don't
like
work
that
out
too.
as well for our situation. We have a mission that's defined, and we need to try to keep
Right.
to that as much as we can.
Right.
So you'll see information about that. You'll see information about volunteer opportunities, which we desperately need.
Okay.
You'll see information about if you're an agency or someone in need, what the procedure is, and even the forms are there to be able to refer someone to us.
Wow.
And you'll also see information even about financial donations. We have a PayPal site connection as
So
well.
that's a really great resource for you. How long have you folks had the website?
We've had the
up and running?
website, I would say it's probably been 3 years now.
Wow.
We actually had one of our volunteers who, his husband was in the web development business, and I didn't realize that. One time the whole family came in to see us, and they noticed we had a wish list on the wall website. And he says, "That's what I do." And I thought,
that's
"Whoa."
amazing.
And so we got a great firm who was acknowledged on the site that
Right.
donated the
Excellent.
services
Because
to
I
develop
would
it.
think that that makes it a whole lot easier for folks to look and see what your needs are and to meet them. And the thing is to make it easy for both parties,
That's
for the
what we
giver
try
and
to
the
do.
receiver.
That's what we try to do,
Right.
and it's surprising a number of times we get emails about furniture donations, and social workers we refer to the web for the forms and so on. So it's
Now, I'm
nice.
surprised because you're based in Reading that you take donations from all other communities. I usually thought, one community stuck to one community. But you were
Well-
telling me that you think Wilmington has been
Oh,
pretty generous
Wilmington has
towards
been
you.
great, and that's a point I'd like to make to the audience who's watching this, is that we have some wonderful volunteers from Wilmington, and we have tremendous support from a number of the churches and the population at large. We get a lot of calls, and our truck is here picking up things a lot. We've also
Excellent.
helped some people in Wilmington.
Good.
Now,
So I guess my point is you don't have to be from Reading to receive support, and you don't
That
have
is
to be
correct.
from Reading to give support.
Oh, no.
either.
And let me explain the geography
Yeah.
on both.
Good.
We pick up things with our truck from the towns that directly border Reading.
Right.
We also go to Winchester as well. So that's basically 8 towns. But we help people from a wide variety of northeastern Massachusetts. Basically, our defined territory for client assistance is all of Middlesex and Essex counties, which is a huge section of population and territory of the state. So we find if we get someone in need in Wilmington, in Reading, in Woburn, the local towns, then we really feel we put that to the top of the list, because those are the communities
Right.
supporting us. We want to give back, first of all, to those communities. But the generosity we get from people is such that we wouldn't be able to use all the donated goods just in the local towns. The majority of requests come from the more urban areas. We, being Middlesex and Essex counties, we don't typically serve downtown Boston,
Right.
but we do Cambridge, we do Lynn, we do
Wow.
Lawrence, we do Lowell, and those tend to be some of the heaviest volume areas.
That's a wide area.
It is
to
a wide
cover.
area. It is a wide
Yeah.
area, and in the course of the year, this year I would expect we'll probably help as many as 750 households.
Wow.
And each one of those gets virtually a truckload of furniture. That shows how much
That's
is going
amazing.
on.
That is amazing. Now, if we donate something, is that a tax deduction as well?
It certainly is. We are what's called a 501c3 charity, and we give donations with the tax information on it to everybody who donates.
So you really can't lose. There's really no way.
Can't lose.
to
We
lose.
like to feel that. And the
Now-
other thing I'd just like to add when we're
Yes,
talking
please, go
about
ahead.
donations, I mentioned the places the truck picks up. But if people have smaller things or larger things and they have pickup truck a way to bring them to us, we'll take things for drop-off not only in local towns, but also in any town people want to come in from. So I think the phone number is going to be shown as a caption on the
Yep.
show here, as well as the website. So you can either go to the website and email us, or you can telephone us, and we kind of like a little bit of a heads up you're coming to make sure we've got the right people there
Right.
to help
Right.
you with your
Now,
donation.
you yourself have been with the Mission of Deeds for how long?
Oh, since 1995,
Okay.
so that's now.
So a while.
In fact, it will be 13 years on March 1st. So
Wow.
this-
So you're really dedicated to what you do, obviously.
Well,
so
it's-
when
it's-
you're
we
driving
enjoy it.
around the community and you see a couch sitting out on the curb, what's your first thought?
Well, my first thought is, I wonder if that person knows about us, assuming it's in good condition, by
Yes.
the way. Sometimes
But
I
I'm
see
sure your
things at
eye goes right
curbside.
to that.
I do.
Yes.
Sometimes, I just need to mention this, sometimes we see things which need to be at curbside, if
Right.
you know what I mean. Everything we
Obviously.
give to someone we want to feel we wouldn't mind seeing come into our own house.
Okay, so that's a good guideline to use.
Yes.
If it's something that you feel is gently used and you wouldn't
Exactly.
mind,
Gently
you would
used
give
is
it
a
to
great way
someone,
to
that would be
describe it.
okay.
That is.
But I'm sure that must really butter your muffins to
And
see that.
We do. When we see things sitting at curbside that look good, we think, wow, I wish they knew about us.
Right.
And actually, some of our Wilmington volunteers have just recently told me that they're seeing a lot at curbside that they think looks good, and they wish more people would call us with those things. So
Okay.
one of the things I'd like to leave the message to the audience is call 944-979-7778 area code.
Right.
And you may get our voicemail, but we will get back to you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd love to come
You
to
guys are
Wilmington
excellent
even
about
more
that,
often.
too. The 2 times that I called to speak to you, you got back to me
Oh,
within
well, that's,
6 hours.
Well,
I
that's
think, both
great.
times.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, that's excellent. What do you think is going to be the future of Mission of Deeds, or what would you really like to see it encompass if you could get the magic wand right
Well, one magic wand that I would love to have is even more volunteers. We have great volunteers who support us, but we could use even
here?
more.
How many do you have, would you say? now?
Oh, in the course of a year, I'm sure we have 100 people who help
Really?
us, whether it's through groups or individually in special events.
Right.
Though there's a core of, I haven't counted exactly, but I'd say 20 or 25 who we see every week that are the nucleus of what we do.
Right.
But as much as we've helped as many households as we have, there's many more we could help. The file of referrals is incredibly thick. So if we could expand the hours, I mentioned we start around 9:30. Usually we wrap up in the early afternoon with the clients, because volunteers get tired being there from 9:30 to
course.
2 or 3 doing this work. So if we could get more of an afternoon shift so we could keep the clients coming in, we could expand that. If we
Okay.
could get the truck on the road even more hours, that would be great too. So we need truck help, telephone help, linens room help. That means light duty work as well as heavy. There's something for anybody to do who
Okay.
wants to help.
And what are the requirements for someone who wants to become a volunteer?
Just to call us at that phone number. I'll talk to them on the phone, to have a good heart and a gentle manner and want to help people out. That's all it takes.
Wow, so you don't have to commit to a certain amount of hours. Some
Well, it
organizations
depends.
have you commit to a year's worth of time.
No,
and so
we
forth
don't
and so
have that. The only thing we do ask is for certain functions, especially if they're going to work the truck or work the phone, we like people to commit to a certain block of time that we can schedule activity
of
against.
course, of course.
But besides that, we have no minimum requirements.
So there's
We
no
just
reason
are
not
happy
to.
have people's help.
Excellent. Anything final you'd like our viewers to know before we
Well,
close?
I guess one more time I'd like to say thank you. We're
Oh,
a
you're
community
welcome.
sorted organization, and thanks to you and
Sure.
WCTV, and thanks to the people watching who are supporting us. We couldn't do, it's not that we're helping people, we're all helping people together. Without the donors, without the volunteers, we couldn't do anything. So
Right.
I'd like to say thanks, and if more people want to join in, call the phone number,
Excellent.
go to the website, we'd love to hear from you.
Excellent. I'm so pleased with what you're doing. Thank you, Mr.
Well,
Morison,
thank you. It's
for
great
being
to
with
have
Mission
you
of
here,
Deeds and for what you're doing.
yeah,
And you folks
enjoy
stay
it.
right with us. We're going to have the second half. Alex DiNatale is going to interview me, so that if you ever want to become a guest here on Where's Wilmington, or you have something like Bruce that you want to share with the community that needs to get out there, you can find out how to do that. So stay with us. We'll be back with more of Where's Wilmington right after this.
If there be time to expose through discussion the falsehoods and the fallacies, the remedy to be applied is more speech, not enforced silence.
Public, educational, and governmental access television is such a remedy, providing every community with a forum for free expression. PEG Access empowers every voice to be heard. It's the freedom to communicate, and it's only on cable.
Hi, I'm Bree from Girl Scout Troop 799, and you're watching WCTV.
Hi, and welcome back for the second half of Where's Wilmington? Nothing's wrong with your TV set. I'm on the other side of the stage. I am going to be privileged to be interviewed by Alex DiNatale. She is our youth outreach coordinator here, and she's going to talk to me about me.
Freaky, I know, but yes.
So what do you want to know?
Wow, well, hey, welcome to your own show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, well, first, I mean, you had just mentioned when we were off air that you had never been interviewed before. You were always the interviewer. And
That's
now
right.
since you're the interviewee, how about you tell us a little bit about how you got started in Wilmington and where's Wilmington?
Yeah, fair enough. Just so folks know why we're doing it this way, so I can give them a little heads up. I feel community television is about giving back to the community. Obviously, that's why it's community television. And the reason I wanted you to interview me was so that folks could get more involved, so that they could become guests themselves, even start shows here at WCTV. So how did I get started? Let's see. I went to Shawsheen Tech, that's where I graduated from. Didn't do anything with media really there. And then I went to UMass Lowell for about 5 years, real close to getting my degree there, but leapt off the cliff at 12 credits shy of my degree. And then it took me 10 years, till I was 30, to actually decide that broadcasting was probably the career for me. So at 30, I went to the Mass College of Communications and did about a 1.5-year program there. I actually graduated top of my class there.
Oh, hooray.
Yeah, and during that time, I worked for KISS 108, for a few other stations doing internships, worked with Maddie for a little while.
Oh, cool.
To learn radio. Radio was really my thing. Yeah. And I'd always said to my family jokingly, I'll never do TV unless they beg me. Like Oprah was going to come to my house and ask me. But I thought that I wouldn't really like the medium of TV because obviously you have to dress nice on radio. I could just put my hair in pigtails and do whatever, and I liked that. So I did radio for about 8 years for WBOQ, and I did their public affairs program, which was kind of interviewing different political leaders, different really heavy groups, some hard-hitting news type stuff I was doing for them. And that aired at 7:30 on Sunday mornings.
Oh, boy.
So it wasn't exactly prime time billing, but it was keeping myself in the pie, so to speak.
Right.
And then at that same time, I had met Rob McCausland, who directs Peabody's Cable Access. And he knew Donna Gasick, who works here. Okay. And he actually said to me, you know, I know that your radio station is getting bought. And that happens a lot in the world of radio. It always is changing hands here and there. We could get into that for hours. But my station got bought, and that was the end of my job in radio. So Rob said, gee, this Donna lady really needs some help at WCTV, and she's right in Wilmington. And that was how they begged me to come do TV.
So you did get your...
Right, so I got my wish, so careful what you wish for. So I came here, and Where's Wilmington already was in place.
Oh.
There had been several other hosts before me, and I don't know whether the program had different names, different kinds of flavors, but there was a program like this in place.
Okay.
And then I just started doing it from there with help from Bill Robert, who's our director, Mike and Veronica, and some other staff members like yourself here. And then I also started hosting bigger things, like the first telethon that we did here when Bill came. So this is really my way of helping my parents to feel like they didn't do wrong by putting me through college, so I can use my degree. But also it's a way for me to get out there and meet the community and really let people see that TV is not so frightening. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, right, I was actually going to say you're very, you come off very personable, very inviting, so I think that's really, that puts people at ease to want to come on the show.
I think I like the interviewing process. I just don't like that it's televised.
Right.
Nobody likes the way they look on camera.
That's true, I don't.
So that's one of the things that I had to overcome to do this. I really don't watch my show very often unless I happen to catch it, which is really weird when you're clicking through the stations.
And you see yourself.
And you hear yourself and you look, But that's how I came to be here at WCTV, and I've been here, I think, maybe 4 years, maybe give or take, a little more or a little less.
Well, that's great. So how would a person watching, if they have something they want to talk about, an organization or just something, that they're doing and they want to broadcast it, to the community, how would they come
I'm
about being
really
your show?
glad that we agreed to do this and that you asked me that question because I don't really have a mailbox here or an email here. I'm kind of like a private entity. So I'm going to give you my email address, which is Miss Lisa K at verizon.net, and I'm sure Bill will put that up on the screen. If anybody has any ideas or gentle criticisms, because I'm a big baby, you can email me there. But I'm very open to any topics, really. We've had the cheerleaders on from Wilmington that won. We've had Bruce Tarr, the senator. We've had our police folks. We've had all kinds of different things. So really, Where's Wilmington is usually divided into two segments. Usually the first segment primarily would be a community leader, someone in an organization. And then I like the second half to be more about an average Joe.
Right.
So really, anybody that has anything to say, just email me. You can always call here and leave me a message through one of the staff members here at WCTV. But really, the best thing to do is to contact me directly through email. And then also, if you become a member and you see me around and you want to do a show, I'm happy to help with that too. But the easiest way would be to email me. And you don't have to be, head of some large organization or creating some grassroots movement. I really want to hear what the community thinks about what we do here.
Right, I think that's very important that
it
you
is.
do accept just anybody and anyone who wants to come
Right.
on.
I mean, there are some parameters, of course.
Sure.
We don't deal with religious topics, obviously, here on this show, and there are venues for that I can help you with.
Right.
But this would be a good start for folks. Start with me, and I'll hopefully help you be able to find wherever your niche would be. We're also going to do radio here soon.
Oh, yes.
Bill has got a beautiful radio
That's
station
getting
set
very
up.
popular.
Yes, and
Yep.
I can't wait to get in there and get my hands on those turntables. So there are avenues there for folks too. If maybe they find going through me that TV is not for them, radio will be available too, and I can help with that.
Well, that's great. So, okay, if someone does decide to come on the show, what are some of the, I don't want to say what's in it for them, but kind of, what are the advantages or benefits that they could get, especially if they are coming on for an organization or a certain cause?
I think the biggest benefit to them personally is accomplishing the goal of being on TV. Yeah. Because it's a big thing. It really is, and it's a little frightening. I have to walk people through the process sometimes because it can be a little bit overwhelming. I think once they get here and they see how friendly we are and how small the room really is.
Yes.
TV feels so big when you're watching it, but being in here, it's a very small setting. So I think for people personally as individuals, you really can leave with a sense of, I did something kind of cool.
Right.
And I got the word out at the same time. Secondarily, from the bigger picture, a lot of people watch WCTV, and I didn't realize that myself. I thought, I'll be safe, it's little cable access. A lot of people in this community, and now with our signal reaching many communities, there's really an opportunity to get your word out a lot. This particular program, Where's Wilmington, airs 5 days a week, or 4 days, I think. Different times, different days. So that means you're going to get your message out to a lot more people. And actually, talking to my sister, who lives in Littleton, as an aside, I said, who watches cable access? She said, I watch it every day. My kids love it. So you really don't know when you think it's just little cable access. It's really a lot bigger than that. So your message can be brought to many homes and many communities, which can help you to network and get the word out. And it's free advertising.
Right.
You can't beat that.
Right. Which is
also,
a big
you can take a copy of your work, that's yours to take with you from the show, and then you can use that to springboard to other arenas. So you really get a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. And the money that you pay for the copy of the show goes to a scholarship fund in Wilmington.
Right.
So that helps the community. You're getting hopefully some professional growth out of it, and you're learning something at the same time. So it's really a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
I don't see that there could be any way you could lose by doing it. Plus, it's 13 minutes out of your day. Usually, I usually tape on a Monday evening, so it's a very short amount of time for what you're really bringing to the community.
Right. Oh yeah, hitting a lot of points just in one, which is what's great about, I think, cable access television anyways.
Right.
I mean, you're doing something for yourself, but you're giving back to a lot of your community.
Right.
Which I think needs to happen more. But
Yes, and hopefully if more people get involved, then we can only make it bigger from there, and we can really take maybe a little bit. I don't think there's much of a stigma left with cable access, but it used to be when I came into the world of TV. I thought of Wayne's World you would think of when you think of cable access.
Yes, that's what they were doing.
And hopefully if our funding gets better and the town can help us out a little bit more, we can get some better sets and make some advancements to really make it what we want it to be. We're doing great with what we have, but we could make things a lot better, I think.
Right, absolutely. So touching upon that, making things better, do you have any, when you first started out, did you have any specific goals or anything, in particular you really wanted to accomplish with the show, or have they changed over the years?
That's an excellent question. My first goal was to get through the show without passing out.
Yep,
I
I hear
managed
you.
to do that. That was good.
Congratulations.
Yeah. My first goal was just to really make sure I focused on the guest as much as possible, and really help them to get their message out. I think my broader goal now is to help the station succeed more with some of their goals, which would be to get a new home for us, which I know we've talked about to death. Maybe make our sets a little better so that it's a little more inviting for the guest, and so that our packaging to the outside world looks a little better.
Right.
I think as far as what we're doing, as far as giving out information, I think we're on the cutting edge of that. I think we have a great team here. We're open to anything. We have a lot of good programs. So as far as goals for the station, I just would like things to maybe look a little bit better.
Yes.
As far as what we're doing, as far as putting out programs, I'm pleased as punch. I would just like to see more folks either contact me or the station and get involved so that we can utilize cable access for what it's made for, which is to provide the community with information, good information.
Right, absolutely. Have the outside reflect the inside. 'Cause
Right.
I know when I first started here, I was very, very impressed with what I saw going on in here, because I never was really, I have, where I'm from, obviously, we have a cable access station, but
Right.
I mean, maybe because I'm a younger person, I wasn't really too in tune with what was going on there. I don't know, maybe
I
that's
know
a
what
poor
you mean.
excuse.
No, I
but
know what you
coming
mean,
here,
though.
it opened my eyes big time,
Yeah.
and I thought it was very impressive.
I know what you mean, because I used to think of cable access as you would have church programs and then you'd have
Sure.
the town meeting.
Government meetings,
No, nothing
right.
against the lovely town meeting people. It's not something I would normally watch. I had no idea that there was so much more until I got into it myself, and I think that is what people need to know. There is so much more to
Right.
it than just the town meeting and the religious programs, which are, again, great things to have. But if you really watch the programs on here, there's a lot of really good stuff being
Oh, sure,
produced by the
yes.
staff. And I'd like to see more of that.
Absolutely.
And the only way we can do that is to get more people involved. And that's what we hope to do with this
Absolutely,
show.
right. Well, it's funny, Donna Gasek, the executive director, often compares community access television to YouTube,
Oh,
saying
right.
how, community television was here way before YouTube and all that ever was, because they say broadcast yourself.
Right.
So that's something to think about too. You don't necessarily have to put yourself up on YouTube.
Right.
You can just come
do
on
your
down,
own
come down the
YouTube,
street.
right here at
and-
WCTV. Plus, also too, if you're not in the field, like I obviously have had some broadcasting experience. If you're not in the field, it's a great way to learn.
Right.
If your programs with the kids, getting them involved, where do you really have the ability to use some of this equipment and really see live television right in your own community?
It's all at your fingertips.
It's really amazing. And I
yes,
know
it
we've
is.
said it before, but it really truly amazes me what can be done and how loving and concerned all the staff are here to help you to reach your goals.
Oh, yes.
That's one of the things I like the most about
Absolutely.
it.
So since everybody, or a lot of people, most people, are so familiar with your face, seeing you every week
Right.
on TV, so
Right.
can we expect to maybe hear you on the radio soon?
I'm hoping, Bill has said to me that when I'm ready, I can do that, and I would like to, because it was my first love, and
Yeah.
like your first love, you never forget. So, and I just like the prospect of not having to worry about my hair and makeup
Sure.
and
Yeah.
what I'm going to wear and all of that jazz. It's nice. Radio is nice and anonymous that way.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yes, I'm sure you will hear me doing some
So
of
no,
that.
no ideas as to maybe what you might do? Haven't gotten
I'm a
that
DJ
far?
I'm a DJ on the side, and I do karaoke
oh,
on
I
the
didn't know
side.
that.
So as far as music, I'm not concerned about that.
Sure.
Whatever Bill wants me to do, I will do.
Well, I'm sure
So
he's
not
got
worried about
tons of
that.
ideas.
Yeah. And I know that there are a lot of things coming up with the format there too for
Oh,
radio for other
absolutely.
folks to get involved too.
Should be some good things.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much
Oh, my
for
goodness, you're
letting me
welcome.
interview you.
It was so easy. Jeez, I might have to
Well.
let you do it again.
Oh, I would be
I guess
happy.
I should close the program
I
then,
think
you think?
that would be wonderful.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Where's Wilmington here with me. And just want to remind you, the next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington? Thank you, Alex, by the way. You be sure and tell them Where's Wilmington is right here on WCTV and right here. And stay tuned. We'll be back for more next week.